you just shut up. That no black women's not competition for us. A German white woman, very beautiful, gorgeous. Oh, she trashing black women? I don't want to say she's trashing them, but she's putting them in their place. I'm just joking.
Women say, I have to be the head of the house. What? That's why you're tired. That's why you're worn out. That's why you can't function properly, because things are out of order. It's out of order because you're trying to be the head of the house and you're not letting the husband be the head of the house, so he don't feel like a man, so he out here acting like a bitch. This is what's happening. Welcome to another episode of Marjorie Reacts. Don't you dare watch the rest of this video without clicking the like button and subscribe. Enjoy.
I already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average Black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say, right?
Yeah, he come over there knowing he can't go to Germany, doing you how these niggas be doing black women here in the United States. It's a war over here between black men and black women. So no, he can't do you the way he do black women in the US because they know they will kill his black ass. So yeah, he cool.
So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him, Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So, gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young. It doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
Just want to let her speak her piece before I respond. I want to hear it in its entirety, but in a lot of ways, she's right about the American woman. It says black woman, but she talked about all American women, and because she's specifically married to a black man, I'm pretty sure he discussed with her his life and how his life went and how he was probably raised by his mother. There's no family unit. There's no nurturing because the black woman got to work full time. You see situations where the black man ain't in the house. I grew up in a house of a single mother. I'm a married woman. Let me just point that out. I've been married 18 years. I'm married to a black man. And I've been married since I was 19. We've been married 18 years. Praise be the Lord. But I grew up in a house with a single mother. I grew up in a house where the men weren't really respected. The men weren't we didn't nurture each other. Never mind nurturing the man. We didn't nurture each other. The children weren't nurtured. The men aren't nurtured. The women aren't nurtured. We're not there. There's no nurturing in how I grew up. I won't say it was completely abusive or whatever, but there's when you have a woman that she works full time has 5 children. The children are cooking dinner. I had to cook dinner for me and my siblings. My siblings had to, we took turns cooking dinner for each other, for the house. There's no father. My father died when I was 8. So a woman, it's like, you would have times where, yeah, you get hugs and kisses, but there's no real environment of service. I'm raising my family completely different. I don't make breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a set time like she insists, but I make dinner every night, and my children cook for themselves. They grow. I'm not doing all that. Sorry, I'm not doing all that. For my husband, I'll cook for my husband, but my children is taller than me. Cook for yourselves. Whatever. I don't care how people feel about it, but I will make dinner, and I enjoy making dinner. But she's right in a lot of ways, and it's an American problem. This isn't just a thing with Black women. You talk to white men, they have just the same amount of problems with white women not having no respect for them, or not having no real attentive, nurturing behavior. It's the same across the board in America. So let's just point that out. And she's speaking on something she really doesn't know anything about. She got this Black man that he done went across the country and found him a woman. Yeah, she's doing all this stuff for him, but I'd like to know what he's doing for her. I'd like to know how he was a blessing in her life. Yeah, it sounds like she doing all this stuff, that she was trained to do. And like she said, she was raised up in a household of nurturing. Everybody don't have that. People can't give you what they don't have. And I want to hear her response video to this.
Black American women are no competition, and that's how I got my man. That is what a lot of people think I said in one of my YouTube videos, which is going viral on all social media platforms at this moment. I mean, TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform you're looking for, you will see my face with that caption on that video. And you cannot imagine, the shitstorm from certain women is like a really bad case of diarrhea right now. But luckily, at the same time, there are a lot of people who agree with my overall message, which is always any average man deserves a fit, cooperative, feminine wife, especially in today's modern society. And that was a snippet out of a whole YouTube video where I was talking about how my basic daily activities have impressed and impacted my husband's daily routine. I mean, it is just what it is. And you know what? A lot of women out there should apply that knowledge that I'm trying to give to you for free. Tell me, where did you hear me say that Black American women are no competition? I was not even talking about Black American women in particular. I never said anything like that I am better than them. I never said anything like I have better qualities than a Black American woman. No, I'm always talking about modern Western women in general. And by the way, a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who was listening with their ears instead of using their emotions. Because when you compare the caption of the video that I didn't even put on the video to the words that were coming out of my mouth, the caption had nothing to do with the words that I was saying. I mean, honestly, I was talking about the American family structure, if you were able to get the message that I was trying to bring to you. Yes, I did say the average Black American family barely has a family unit. Not even in that statement, I generalized all Black families in America that they don't have a family unit. I lived in America for 2 years and I've seen a lot of messed up things in Black households, white households, and I very soon came to the conclusion, coming from a traditional household, that there is something seriously wrong that's going on in those households in America. And I was flabbergasted at the amount of disrespect an average American man would have to deal with coming from the woman of the household. I mean, these women, not only that they were disrespectful, they were lazy too. And I heard them speak a certain way to their children that had me in complete shock. I mean, I remember this one situation where this woman called her teenage son bitch, and I couldn't believe my ears. Even if that was supposed to be a joke in that moment, that word is doing something to that child. How is it going to grow up thinking it's okay that a woman is calling that boy bitch? I mean, let's be real. But enough said, let's dive into a few comments of a couple of women under my video who have a lot of love for me. You know what? I love you too.
I like what she said. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. I'd marry her. And like she said, it's an American problem. It's not just a Black household problem. It's an American problem. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I don't know how it is in where she's from, but America has completely gone away from traditional family values. We've completely abandoned the importance of raising our children healthy. And, my children read the Bible. I won't say I don't curse. I'll be cussing, but I don't refer to my children in a way that breaks them down. And maybe playing. I might be playing around, but she ain't lying. That ain't right. That ain't right. But I'll be honest with myself right now. But she's not wrong. She's very right in what she's presenting about American households. And like I said, it's not just a Black household problem. It is an American problem. Many Americans have we're raising our boys as girls. We're raising our girls as boys. We don't respect the men of the household. Women have to I've heard women say, I have to be the head of the house. What? That's why you're tired. That's why you're worn out. That's why you can't function properly, because things are out of order. It's out of order because you're trying to be the head of the house and you're not letting the husband be the head of the house, so he don't feel like a man, so he out here acting like a bitch. This is what's happening because things are out of order. And I thank God for the Bible, because if you read the Bible, it lets you know exactly how you're supposed to be acting as a wife. I'm not even going to act like I'm a cleaning wife. That is not my forte, but I will cook. Cleaning isn't my strong suit. Help me, Lord, working on that. But my husband and I have an understanding. We know where our priorities are. It's not like we living in a junkyard, thank the Lord. But and like you said, American women is lazy. Yeah, American women don't want to clean. They don't want to cook. They don't want to have sex. They just want to be married just to say they married. Just say they got a man. They ain't doing nothing with him or for him. They just want to be able to say they got a man. Otherwise, the man don't matter. It's about the kids. And even the kids is suffering because the man's not being supported. So the children are suffering. The woman is tired because she's not letting the man be the head, and the children are suffering. And it's a spiraling out of control cycle. It's constantly spiraling out of control. And I'm not mad at anything she said. She's absolutely correct. I will say it gave me a little, because she's not from here, but she didn't tell a lie. She did not tell one lie. And I have to go with truth. The truth is the truth. I can't be mad at the truth. And I just pray for American households, pray for the people I know that are struggling with just what she's referring to here in America. And the one thing I know about so many Black women is that we're traumatized. Black households in general are traumatized. We're raising our children in trauma. We were raised in trauma. I remember growing up, my father died when I was 8 years old. And my mother, as she mentioned, she worked all the time. He didn't work. He refused to work. I don't know what this circumstances is with that, but especially back in the day when I was living in New York City, it was probably hard for a Black man to find a job, but I don't really know. I wasn't old enough to really understand how things were back in the day. But my mother, she also didn't support him in a way that would motivate him to get a job. And I feel like that's also a woman's purpose. Men need help. Men need support. Men need a woman strong enough to encourage him, to build him up, to remind him his worth if he doesn't already know. I got a husband that knows his worth. My husband knows his worth. I don't have to tell him nothing. He already know. I grew up, my husband was raised by a very strong Black woman in a married household, which she's the head of her household, but you got to do what works. I don't know how to, that's their stuff, but she taught him to be a man of God, to know his worth, and to recognize who he is in God. And he does. I don't have to do that for my husband, but I do support him because when he goes out, he's beat up. He gets beat up on outside by the rest of the world because he's Black. So when he comes home, I want him to feel nurtured and loved and protected, and where I'm soft to him, even if he's a slight, feeling some type of way and he's slightly abrasive, I don't allow that to bring me here because he's here. If he's here, I stay here. And I just stay out of his way. I just stay out of his way if he feels some type of way. But my husband really ain't, he don't really get angry like that. Back in the day now, we struggled with that. With that, where he was really struggling. We were young. We got married really young. And I feel like we struggled with that more when we first got married. But praise be to God for growth and maturity. And he's grown and matured a lot as well as myself. And we've learned to submit to each other. Marriage is submitting to each other. The Bible says the husband's supposed to love his wife as his own body. The husband's supposed to be willing to die for his wife as Christ died for the church. This is what the Bible says, I believe, in Ephesians. And the woman, respect your husband. It's just as simple as that. Respect him, love each other, respect each other, and things can go smoothly if we just follow these things. You set up your family system how you want it set up, as far as cooking dinner and all those things and cleaning. You and your spouse decide what works best for the two of you. But at the end of the day, love and respect should be the foundation of your relationship. Are you loving and respecting each other? As I was saying, the sister did not say anything wrong. I completely agree with everything she said. I just hate that a foreigner has to point these things out, and we as Americans, we can't figure these things out on our own. That frustrates me. That frustrates my nerves. So I hope we can come together as a nation at some point. I'm praying for everybody in this country to get right with God, get their families together. Stop having this baby mama, baby daddy. Get off the baby mama, baby daddy train, is what I would say to Americans, black and white and everything else, because it's an American problem, not just a black problem. Let's clarify that. And I'm praying for everybody. And thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for another day. And thank you all for tuning in. Blessings to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.